Welcome back to ESPN Radio here in St. Louis as we are headed for a little bit of a road trip to Tulsa, Oklahoma to take on 3-8 Tulsa. But the question going into this week, will Coach Jay keep his job and save it here? And I got to say, last week I think he got a little lucky. That second half comeback, it was pretty good coaching adjustments, but I think he got lucky there. He dodged a bullet. So will he be able to win one more time in the snow on the road in Tulsa? I guess we'll have to check it out and see. Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ, and welcome back to the Rivercats Dynasty as we end Season 2. 3-8 on the season, taking on 3-8 Tulsa in some conditions that, well, I wish they were a little bit better because our strength isn't running the ball, so we will have to play some good defense. Now, Sidney Williams is the quarterback of Tulsa. 15 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. That tells me that we're going to need to force some turnovers. They have a good receiving core. I don't think it's great, though. But honestly, I think that quarterback could be a little bit erratic. He is their leading rusher as well. So really forcing them into turnovers will be the key to this game. Now, we are going to give Jeremiah Harris, the senior tight end, the start in this game. He has been a remarkable backup. He's filled in spots. He has 2 career touchdowns. Hopefully, we can get him one in this final game. Then on defense, Rondé Floyd will go back to the slot. He played there in Season 1. Hopefully, he has a good game as well. These are the only 2 seniors on this roster here for the last game of their college career. So Tulsa will start out with the ball, and here we are in the snow to end Season 2. Let's get this game underway. They line up with 3 wide receivers out there right away. Williams throws the left side, and it's picked off. That's Leon Christopher, one of the leaders on defense. He takes it in for the touchdown on the first play of this game. What a way to kick it off here on the road at Tulsa. And wow, Leon Christopher, the do-it-all linebacker. He rushes the passer. He plays in coverage. He pretty much is another Javon Warren. Javon Warren is the captain, but Leon Christopher does everything as he gives us a 7-point lead on the first play. So here is Tulsa back on an offense. Option play. Lee takes it down the right sideline. He's got nothing but snow in front of him, and he does get tackled at about the 4, and that is Nick Sturger who saves a touchdown on that one. Gain of 72. So here is Sidney Williams keeping it on the next play. He takes it in. Touchdown, untouched, and that is going to be a 7-7 game just like that. So here we are on offense for our first possession. Handoff to the right side. It's Carter. Puts on a move and picks up 8 yards. He ran the ball extremely well. He got 22 carries last week. We'll probably try to get him 20 in this game. So handoff right back to him, and he does get a hit in the backfield. That's a loss of 3 yards. And now that brings us to a 3rd and 5. Frazier throws to the right side. It's Andre Booker, and he does pick up a first down. And you can see Andre Booker, he's changed his game. A lot of his catches last year were just, catches, and then he would get tackled. Now he's starting to run after the catch. So here's a throw across the middle. That's Jeremiah Harris, and he picks up 16 yards. And remember, he gets to start in his final game, and nice to see him get one there. So now 2nd and 7, another throw. It's Harris again, and he does pick up a gain of 15 yards and a first down on that catch. And now we move the chains as now we're inside the 30-yard line on the other side of the 50. We bring in Gunnar Johnson, the mobile running quarterback, and he does cough it up, and Williams picks it up, and he's got nothing but end zone in front of him. And let's see the big fella. He's going to get run down. Adrian West, he's going to bring him down. He falls on his back, but take a look. They go to the replay booth, and it looks like Johnson's knee was down, so it looks like we will get possession back. So we dodge a bullet on that play. So this drive continues. Now Phoenix Frazier checks back in under center for a 3rd and 9. Pressure right away. Frazier can't get away, and it's a sack. And that one will knock us out of field goal range, but we're going to line up to go for it. Why not? It's 4th and 16. We could pin him inside the 20, but we're just going to go for it here. Throw one deep. Frazier throws to the right side. Booker adjusts to it. He's got it inside the 5-yard line. Gain of 34. Booker has been reliable here for us in these first 2 seasons. You can just see he just adjusts. The cornerback doesn't, and it ends up being a nice catch. So handoff this time. Chad Johnson, the backup fullback, is in. Touchdown. We brought in the big hogs on that one. We had Brian Parrish, our starting fullback at running back. Chad Johnson, the freshman, the backup fullback in, and he gets the ball. His first career touchdown, 14-7. So here is Willie Lee starting on the next drive, and that's a gain of 15 right away. And that brings them to a 2nd and 8 now. Screen pass out to Lee. Tackled, and that is Wyatt King on the opposite side of that big hit. And that brings them to a 3rd and 10. Williams has already thrown one interception. Will he do it again? Throw to the sideline, and it's incomplete. We knew Williams, if we got pressure on him, he would force some throws, and that's what we're doing early. As now we get possession back. Handoff Deion Carter to start the next drive, and that's a tackle in the backfield. Ryan Williams in the back. And now 3rd and 12, another 3rd down. Look at the pressure, though. They send it right through the middle of our offensive line, and that's a sack. And that is what teams do to us. Our interior offensive line, they run block well, but they're not good at pass protection. And you can just see it here early on in this game. And even in last game, M-Stam sent some blitzes that we couldn't pick up. So Tulsa takes back over here, close to the 50. Here is Williams. He's going to scramble to the right side. And Ja'Cory Reed, the freshman, will bring him down. He gets the sack on that one. And that brings it to a 3rd and 4. Throw across the middle. It's Watson who breaks the tackle and gets upfield. And it's a 1st down. But another flag on the play. And it's going to be clipping. So this one will come back. So 3rd and 2 this time. Handoff. Lee tackled in the backfield. Kyron Favors, who moved over to the right side after Garrett Jones lost his spot on the outside. He's been doing well. And now we get the ball back after a punt. So we started out with the screen pass. Deion Carter, it gets stopped in the backfield. Gunnar Johnson was in on that throw, maybe trying to throw off the defense a little bit. As the drive does continue, Phoenix Frazier checks back in. He moves to the right side and does fall forward. And that's a gain of 6 for him. And that brings it to a 3rd and 9. Gunnar Johnson's in. He throws across the middle. It's going to be caught. Deion Carter, he gets upfield. Gain of 11 and a 1st down. And now this drive continues as Frazier checks back in at quarterback. This time from the pocket. He moves. He throws. And it's almost picked off. Man, that cornerback took a chance on that pass because he left Booker wide open on the right side. So that brings us to a 3rd and 14. The pressure's right there again, but Frazier buys some time, and he runs down the sideline and steps out. Gain of 5. And now 4-down territory here. We're just across the 50. We're just going to go for it. Why not? Just take a chance. Frazier throws deep. It's Jeremiah Harris. He's got it. Nothing but end zone in front of him. It's a touchdown. A touchdown on the last game of his career. And Jeremiah Harris, I mean, I got to say, he is one of my favorite players on the original Walk-Ons team. He is going to be missed. He has filled in nicely. He's actually a good special teams player as well, and he gives us the 21-7 lead. So here is Sidney Williams this time. Scrambles to the right side. He takes it himself, makes the man miss, and he does get tripped up from behind. Eddie McMack probably saved a touchdown on that one, and that's a gain of 20. So here's Williams, throws across the middle. It's Watson again, who does catch it. He gets tackled by McMack again, gain of 9. And now they're across the 50-yard line. They only have 3 completions in this game. So option play. Lee throws off Javon Warren, stays on his feet, and gets taken down by Ja'Cory Reed, the freshman safety. And it's a gain of 4 for a 1st down. Willie Lee is closing in on 100 yards. You can see teams are going to try to run the ball versus us. That's our Achilles heel. So Williams tries to scramble, but this time gets taken down by Leon Christopher. Cecil Moore was also there. And that brings us to a 2nd and 16 on defense. Let's see if we can come up with a stop. Williams from the pocket throws to the flats. He's got his receiver, James, and he does pick up 11 yards. As that brings it to a 3rd and manageable as this first half does wind down. He's going to run, and Williams takes it himself, and he does pick up the 1st down. Picks up a block downfield as well, breaks a couple of tackles, and falls inside the 10-yard line, gain of 27. He was their leading rusher on the season coming into this game. And it looks like he's going to run well in this one as he throws to the end zone. Albert James, touchdown. And now this lead is back down to 1 score. Sidney Williams recovers after that interception earlier in the game. So under a minute left here in the first half. Gunnar Johnson's in the game. He's going to scramble to left side. He gets away, tries to spin, and breaks the tackle, but gets pushed out of bounds. That's an 11-yard gain for the freshman. So Phoenix Frazier checks back in now. He moves out to the right side. He's going to stop and throw, and it's Booker on the side. He gets out of bounds, gain of 5. We have all 3 timeouts, but we want to put together a nice drive before halftime. So 3rd and 5, throw to the right side. Shogun's in. He spins forward and does get a couple of more yards. This is a gain of 13 yards for him and a first down. So 20 seconds left here in the first. Here is Frazier. He's going to throw up the seam. It's Adrian West. He's got it. And it's a touchdown. 31 yards. Perfect throw by Phoenix Frazier. That's where you have to put that throw. Adrian West is not a tall receiver. You have to throw it low and with some velocity. He gets in 28-14 going into half. Let's go on the road, up 2 scores. So here we go to start the second half. We are in the driver's seat, and we start out with possession. Here is St. Louis State out on offense. Throw to the right side, and Andre Booker has a first down and drops it. So right away, Tulsa takes back over, and now with a chance to trim this lead back to 1 score. Sidney Williams now back onto the field. Throw to the right side. It's McNeil who does get tripped up by Javon Warren. It's a first down, gain of 16 yards. So now Williams from the shotgun. The running back runs an arrow route out of the backfield and throw to the right side. It's Wes Johnson who gets his first catch of the game. He's been quiet. He is their leading receiver, actually, coming into this game as well. So run to the right side. Lee breaks the tackle, and that's a touchdown. Kyron Favors could not make it, and Willie Lee gets in, and it's 21-28 here. Tulsa could be storming back. So back on an offense, Phoenix Frazier throws to the right side. It's Booker who breaks the tackle, and he does get upfield, puts on a move, and gets tackled for a gain of 20 yards, close to the 40-yard line. And now this drive continues here with a jet sweep. This time it's Shogun Gonzalez who gets to the right side, and that's a first down, gain of 14. And that's one thing we don't really have on this speed is that top-end speed, because if Shogun had it, he could have been gone on that play. So throw to left side, 2nd and 17 after a penalty, and it's going to be caught. Andre Booker again. He is just reliable on the outside, as that brings it to a 3rd and 1. Handoff, Dion. He gets stopped in the backfield. Loss of 1, and that brings it to a 4th and 1. You know Coach Jay is going for it, and here in this crucial go-home, winner go-home game pretty much for Coach Jay's career. We'll have to see as Marcus Yarbrough gets the catch on the left side. First down, 4th down conversion. And that does move the chains as now this drive continues here towards the end of the 3rd quarter. Phoenix, he's going to scramble and dive for the first down marker. He comes up just a yard short, and it brings it to a 3rd and 1. Handoff, Carter coming off of the biggest game of his career. He picks up 4 yards on that one. Pretty quiet game in this one, though. It's a first down. So under center this time. Play action fake. Frazier throws to the right side. It's Booker. He's got it. Touchdown. Andre Booker. And he makes it a 35-21 lead. Phoenix Frazier looks pretty good in this one. 3 touchdown passes, no turnovers. As now we start the 4th quarter, and Tulsa takes back over with a chance to score once again to bring it to within 1 score. And there is Preston Kinney on the handoff by Willie Lee. And that's a loss of 2 yards. Kinney is having himself a year. As now that brings it to a 2nd and 12 handoff. And that is going to be Willie Lee, only a gain of 2. Eddie McMack on the tackle that time. So Williams now, 3rd and 10, moving in the pocket, throws, and it's picked off. Javon Warren, the captain, and that's the 2nd interception of the game. We knew he was turnover prone, and that time, that's Cecil Moore on the pressure. He pushes him off of his spot, throws off his back foot, and now it's an interception as we take back over here as we hand the ball off. Deion Carter finally breaks one free. He's down the right side, and he gets tackled at about the 30, gain of 28. For the running back. It's a first down. He's had to shoulder this load this entire game, as here he is with another carry, another broken tackle, and another 11-yard gain and a first down. He's at 50 yards rushing now. He was just at 7 carries for 4 yards. So now Frazier throws back out to him. He tries to spin away and somehow gets tackled on that one. Gain of 3. And we do end up settling for the field goal on that drive, as now Tulsa comes back out with 2 minutes left here in this game. Throw across the middle. It's deflected. Kyron Favors with the effort on that one. You got to love this defensive effort these last couple of games. They've been playing really well. Now here is Williams, 3rd and 10. Deep shot. And it's picked off. Kyron Favors. took over for Garrett Jones. He has an interception, and that one will seal this game up. 3 interceptions forced, and that one will do it. On the road, we end on a 2-game winning streak, and that one is how season 2 will come to a close. Phoenix Frazier, 3 touchdown passes, only 10 incompletions off of 28 attempts, 64% completion percentage. He did throw a garbage time interception, but it didn't matter at all. We ended up winning 38-28. Deion Carter ran the ball well in this one. That big 28-yard run definitely helped his totals as well. And then Gunnar Johnson came in with a couple of packages. I really liked what he's done the last couple of games. He did score that rushing touchdown last week versus M-Stam, and he got a couple of packages this game. Booker went over 100, and West actually ended up breaking his ankle in the 4th quarter, so he didn't finish that game out. But we ended up getting the win anyway. But the defense was the story of this one. Javon Warren, Christopher, and Kyron Favors all get interceptions. Leon Christopher also got a sack as well, and he also had that big pick 6 on the first play of the game. Willie Lee ran for 12 attempts, 147. Williams ran for 55 as well. And that is how this one ends. 4-8 on the season. As now we take a look back at the season we just had. Phoenix Frazier had himself a season. I mean, 16 touchdowns, 13 interceptions coming off of a 6-touchdown, 17 interception season. That's dramatic improvement, and it showed. I mean, we won 4 games more than last year. And just looking at what he did, you know, he was just dynamic. He even ran the ball well. When he had to scramble, he did. I mean, look at this, 6 yards, average of 6 yards per game, and just factoring in sacks, that's actually not bad for a pocket passer. Gunnar Johnson came in and played some pretty good spot ball. 7 attempts for only 21 yards rushing, but he had that rushing touchdown in the second to last game versus M-Stam. I like his potential as kind of a wildcat quarterback. He's going to get in and kind of do some things. He's going to throw the ball too. Now, Davis Lee, he disappointed. He started out 1 touchdown, 8 interceptions. It just wasn't pretty. We had high expectations for him coming into this season. He did not live up to the bill, and it showed because Frazier took back over and didn't give it back. I mean, Frazier was phenomenal in some games. You know, some games he was just average, but some games he was great, like that last game versus Tulsa. I mean, that was just as good as you can get, especially in some snowy conditions. You can't do much better than that. Now, running the ball was definitely better this year. Look at the difference between Deion Carter, who started last year running back, compared to this year. 42 yards rushing the entire season last year, 420 this year. That is dramatic. He's going to have a big junior year. I can feel it. But Jabari Blaze has to work on his game, especially holding on to the football. Now, this stat says he had 2 rushing fumbles. I recorded 6 on the year. 1 did get overturned because his knee was down, but I'm still going to rule that a fumble because it counts. I mean, you got to hold on to the ball. And that's the reason why he didn't get any carries the last few games. And Parrish came in and got some carries. And so did Chad Johnson, the backup running back, who scored a touchdown, backup fullback, I should say. And that's just how the season went. I mean, we just need a second running back. I don't know who that's going to be, but right now I can't rely on Jabari Blaze. So Adrian West, I did highlight that he broke his ankle in the 3rd quarter, and it kind of sidelined him for the rest of that game, but he still actually ended up leading our team in receptions with 57 and touchdowns with 6. Now, Andre Booker had another great year. 56 receptions, 768 yards, 5 touchdown catches. And I mean, just looking at him, the difference was the yards after catch. He had double the amount of yards after the catch. That just shows the maturity in his game. He definitely worked on something in the offseason and got better. Now, Isaiah Ford, he was good, but the issue was he had a few games where he dropped a ton of passes, and that opened the door for Xavier Gonzalvo to come in and steal some playing time. And now there's going to be a camp battle at tight end, because we have a few tight ends on the roster now that are going to be competing right away. Now, Deion Carter had a really good year receiving the ball in the backfield. That's why I think we need to get another running back, because if I can have 2 running backs in there and then motion out Deion Carter in some packages and have him as a receiver, it's going to be a mismatch nightmare if he's got a linebacker lined up on him. Now, Marcus Yarbrough did decent. He didn't do great, though. He had some games where he dropped a ton of passes, and he has the name Yarbrough, obviously. His uncle, Marlon Yarbrough, is finishing up his NFL career. But, he's got to get better. He's got to get in the gym. He's got to get stronger. He's got to get stronger hands. That's what he's got to do. Now, Shogun Gonzalez had a decent year as well. I tried to get him some jet sweeps even, and it kind of worked a little bit. I want to see what I can get out of some of these speedier receivers we have coming in this recruiting class. Xavier Gonzalvo had a good year. 2 touchdowns, really only starting 2 true games, and he had 2 touchdowns, so that's pretty good. I'm going to miss Jeremiah Harris, though. He was dynamic. He played special teams. He played backup tight end. He played everything that you wanted him to. I'm really going to miss him. I need a dynamic guy like that, a special teamer that can just play everywhere. And I'm going to really miss him. I need another guy like that, though. I got to find a Swiss Army knife. Now, looking at our offensive line, I don't think we had an amazing year protecting the quarterback, but I think we didn't do bad for our young offensive line. I think that Gordon Figueroa was amazing in run blocking. I think he has to get better in pass blocking. And Petrocelli, honestly, he gave up a lot of pressures. Maybe not a lot of sacks. He gave up 5 sacks, but a lot of pressures at right guard. I think we'll definitely have to clean that up a little bit. Now, defensively, Javon Warren led our team in tackles for the 2nd straight year. Wyatt King was 2nd on the team in tackles for the 2nd straight year. But the freshman Ja'Cory Reed had a really good season. 44 solo tackles. He was doing everything, to be honest. He was good in coverage. He didn't have the stats to go with it, but he did have an interception. Now, Kyron Favors played really well on the outside those last few games after moving him over. I am excited to see him play, but he's going to have some competition in camp next year. We have some good freshmen coming in at cornerback. Now, Leon Christopher had that pick 6 in the last game. He had a good season. He's just steady Eddie. I mean, just looking at the stats compared to last year, they're pretty much the same. I mean, he's dynamic. He does a little bit of everything. I like what he does still. His spot is not in jeopardy, obviously, but Rue Mings is. Now, I was just a little bit disappointed in him because I moved him over to free safety. He had some big plays on the ball last season, but this year he had a dip in tackles. I mean, his tackles went down. You can possibly contribute that to not playing in the box as much, but he had a lot of opportunities to make tackles, and he was just missing. So I think that free safety is a spot that is up for grabs in camp. He is obviously our best zone cover safety, but I just need to see more out of him. He didn't even have an interception this year. Now, Garrett Jones, kind of the same. He lost his spot. He's going to need to improve dramatically, to be honest, because like I said, there's a ton of competition coming in at cornerback next year. And just the incoming freshmen we have coming in, they all do something special. And thinking of Wilson, he's going to come in and be a man cover cornerback. And then Bryant Britt, who we highlighted in the last episode in the beginning, he has speed. So that's one thing that we don't have at cornerback is speed. So Bryant Britt already has an upgrade or a step over the other cornerbacks. Now, Nick Sturger didn't play bad. He also got burnt quite a bit, and that's something to look forward to in camp next year, just seeing his improvement. But I don't think he's going to lose ample playing time. But Preston Kinney. Now, I do have the overachievers and the awards at the end of the year. Preston Kinney is probably sure in to be the most outstanding newcomer on the team. 6 sacks led the team, 18 tackles, 11 for loss. I mean, that is just a great freshman year from a guy that even started off the year as a backup. Remember, he did not start the first 3 games of the season. He came in on game number 4 and started, still led our team in sacks. Now, Desmond Edwards had a good year as well. I liked him rotating in. I moved him around on the defensive line. Rondé Floyd, I'm going to miss him. He was our slot cover corner in year 1, I believe. I think I switched him between the left side and in the slot, so I'm going to miss him. He's going to be a guy that was reliable on special teams. Another Swiss Army knife, if you would say that, call him that. Malik King needs to work on some stuff in the offseason. He started out slow. He was the starter at defensive end, and Preston Kinney ended up taking that spot. So he'll need to improve going into season 2, into year 2. And then looking at our sack leaders, Javon Warren was actually 2nd in sacks. That just shows everything that he does. He is the captain of this defense once again. Edwards had 3. King had 3. Christopher also had 3. And then Eddie McMack, he was actually a really good cover linebacker. I was very, very impressed by Eddie McMack. I didn't know what to expect out of him, but he just didn't lose his job. I mean, he did what he was supposed to do. He wasn't really asked to rush the passer much. I did rush him a little bit, but I wasn't expecting him to have a big sack total. He did his job. Now, one thing that we did add to the team was kicking. Kristaps Ivanov hit 11 of 12 field goals. That was actually really good because we even hit some 40-yarders, ones that we needed, and that's something that we didn't have. He'll look to hit the weight room a little bit, get a little bit more power on that leg. And then returning kicks, we didn't run a touchdown back, but Adrian West did his job. He set us up with good field position. He was a decent punt returner. I'll want to see him improve there next season. I'm not sure he'll be the kick returner though, because I want to see what Bryant Britt, that speedy cornerback, has as a returner as well. Now, just looking at the rest of the NCAA, Tyrone Bush from Metropolis ends up being the runner-up for the Heisman. He ran for 1,600 yards. Metropolis has definitely turned their program around. Head coach Robbie Richardson, if you remember him from the Whitetails series, former running back at Cincy and of the Colts, he actually, look at what he did since being hired. 2 straight 9-win plus seasons, and he's on his way to probably his 10th win, as maybe he will win this game versus Rocky Mountain State in the conference championship, as they went 11-1, and then Metropolis does clinch their side of the conference. And just looking at everybody else, Tulsa State finished 10-2, and M-Stam ended up finishing with 3 wins at the bottom of their division. I wonder if they're finally going to get rid of their head coach, because it doesn't seem like it's working with them. So let's just see who wins this game. Metropolis 9-3 versus Rocky Mountain State 11-1, and we will sim it. And it looks like Rocky Mountain State wins by 2 scores, 28-16. And Rocky Mountain State continues a great season, going 12-1, and they will probably end up in the top 5 after this win. And let's see what Bush did. So he ran 23 times for 148, 1 touchdown for the Heisman runner-up. Now, looking at the top 25 here in the year 2031, Alabama goes undefeated. Big surprise there. They're back on top after all these years. Stanford is undefeated as well. Air Force was undefeated, 12-0 for Air Force, but they had an easy conference in the Mountain West. I need to add another team to that conference because I don't think they had a conference championship either. And then looking at the rest of the top 25, Missouri Tech ends up being in the top 12. Tulsa State ends up at 19. And then let's see, Metropolis ended up at 25. So good season from them, but they ended up losing. We'll see if they can get to 10 wins. So that's going to do it here in this episode. Coach Jay should save his job. I mean, it's a 4-win push from last year. I mean, I would say that's good enough to keep his job, but I guess we'll have to see going into the off season. So hit subscribe, hit that like button, stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.
Yeah, they filling out these job applications. Life got hard after high school graduation. I went to college and your boy got financial aid. They gave me money, then I went and bought a pair of J's. And I bought a pair of shades. And I bought a new computer. Had $400 left, spent the rest on